Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's your host, Divonis here, back with another podcast from my trip sitting blog, here to inoculate you with some more knowledge. Today, I wanted to talk about the mushroom community, specifically the ones that are on, Reddit, things of that nature. And I just want to talk about a few points about the community as a whole. Also, I just want to mention, I'm sorry for the hiatus. I was a bit under the weather for a few days, so that's why this podcast is coming out a little bit later than I would normally intend for them to come out. But I want to appreciate you guys. I just want to say I appreciate you guys for the patience, and I'm not gonna stop. Anyways, let me go to my first talking point, which are subreddits. And I believe that on Reddit there's like a bunch of subreddits. R/shrooms, r/mushroom ID, r/Uncle Ben's. Things of that nature. And overall, I feel like those are like very good communities because in these communities, I found just like so many things that I've never even thought or even conceived to do with making mushrooms, such as the Uncle Ben's tech, which that may be like common news for a lot of people, but obviously other people start off with different methods like PK tech and things of that nature. So that was new to me, and I thought it was really cool. I also want to mention that within these subreddits, there are a bunch of trolls. There are a bunch of people who you ask for an ID and they'll say things like, "Oh, I think that's a mushroom," or they'll just answer like totally unreasonable questions. You'll be like, "What is this?" And you'll be like, "I think that's white sage," or like something stupid like that. So obviously there are a bunch of trolls, but obviously within every community there are going to be those people who just like to troll. And trolls aren't even like they're harmless. They're a bit of annoyance, but overall they're nothing too insane. Anyways, within my second point, I want to talk about it's a good tool for growing the practice. Back whenever mushroom cultivation was in its infancy, the only way you would find out about it is like word of mouth, or like you knew someone who did it, or like you looked at the news and you saw these psychonauts that were like being popular. You wanted to try the methods. There are like select ways you could get into the practice and the cultivation. However, nowadays you can just go online and just look up how to start, and you can just start from there. You don't have to go through all these obstacles that people back in the day did, which obviously I'm speaking out of retrospect because, I wasn't even alive during this whole time period. So I'm really speaking from readings. I'm pretty sure other people who are older in the community could attest what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like the social media era has really made the growing community like blossom. And now a lot of people feel like they have a safe community of like-minded people to kind of cultivate their ideas and just be able to be themselves. Which let me bring up a certain point about that. I would say that all communities that want the chance to become a prosperous community needs a basis of communication. And what I'm saying by that is all of these communities need like either a social media platform to speak on, or like a social forum that they can talk to each other, like how the Shumery is, some type of network where people can connect with each other and speak on these topics, or even like physical meetups and like forgeries together. And I said forgeries, forays together, forgery. Anyways, so yeah, I feel like the mushroom community is growing because of this beautiful growth in not only social media, but also the mindset that people have around like just mushrooms in general. I feel like for a very long time, people have had a phobia of mushrooms. I've spoke about this many times, but like, yeah, people just have a fear of mushrooms. And now I feel like as some of these rumors are being debunked and more people are starting to open their eyes and their minds up to the idea of mushrooms, I feel like more people are getting into the practice, which makes it grow, which makes it like, more not profitable, but more flourishing, I would say. So yeah, my third point I want to say is these places are really good for scientific research. And what I mean by that is there are like these people that are like in Florida, Nevada, like all across the country and all across the world that are discovering new texts on how to grow mushrooms, new environments that they can use to grow mushrooms, new materials that they can use to grow mushrooms. Like there's coffee tech, there's brown rice tech, there's wood chip tech. I'm pretty sure like within the next 5 or 10 years, there are going to be a whole bunch of new texts that people discover because of these forums, and that because their experimentation and documenting of these in like these social media websites. So yeah, and also I've seen like so many new strands that people have like been able to cross engineer just from like countless experimentation and cloning and things of that nature. So this community is really beautiful in helping people express their need to expand on this the species. And like we have people like Paul Stamets who went out and like actively found new specimens in the wild. There are other people who are just like, I'm gonna create my own new species, and that's like engineering at its finest. And I think that's really cool that we have people that are able to even do something so insane like that. So which brings me to my next topic, and like this is gonna be kind of a shorter podcast just because I'm still a bit under the weather. So I'm gonna get to my last speaking point, which is it healthy? As in, is the community healthy? And overall, I feel like yes, the community is healthy. While there are countless trolls, scams, and other people, other nefarious people in these communities, overall, I feel like the community is healthy, it's growing, and for the most part, it's very beneficial to those who want to get into the practice or just are interested in mushrooms in general. Cultivation is a part of being in mycology where you don't even have to ever even indulge in if you don't want to. Like there are a bunch of mycologists who specifically just go out in the wild and find their own mushrooms, or they just enjoy the study of mushrooms, so they like look up books or like look at documentaries and stuff and never even go into cultivation, which is perfectly fine. But this community is also very good for those people and also people who want tips into getting into cultivation. So I feel like overall the community is very healthy, and I'm glad that I'm a part of it and I'm seeing it grow at such an exponential rate. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna probably cut it off there. Yeah, I know it's pretty short. This will probably be like around 5 minutes, but like I said, I'm still a bit under the weather, so I just wanted to get something out there to keep the weekly uploads going. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's anything else you want me to say about this topic, please feel free to let me know in the comment section or just DM me at trip.sitting on Instagram. And this has been Divonis, and thank you for listening.